Hi, thank you for joining my presentation named A Journey Through Engineering School. My name is Kara Koenig Miller. It's actually just Kara Miller, but Koenig is my maiden name. I'm a junior at KU. I'm currently studying architectural engineering. The journey starts with me. About me. So I'm new to KU. I just transferred from a community college this semester. So it's a 2-year college I transferred from in Kansas City, Missouri. I chose KU because it's close to home, and my husband is an alumni of KU, so he had a lot of good things to say. So I was like, I'll give it a chance, and I really love it. So I'm glad I came over. The only difference really is, it's a very big campus compared to where I was, and classes are a bit bigger, but since I'm farther in, classes aren't as big as they could be for the lower level stuff. So, happy with that. I'm a non-traditional student. That just means I'm not your average student. I'm non-traditional because I am older than the average student, and I'm married, so that makes me a non-traditional student. So it made it a little nerve-wracking to come into KU already being new. To mostly people, they've been there the whole 2 years and they know each other. So I was new and I'm older, so I was a little nervous, but I made my way through. I originally changed my degree plan from chemistry to architectural engineering. I chose architectural engineering. A coworker of mine brought it to my attention that she thought I'd be good at it. So I was like, what is that? So I looked it up, and my husband and I and my family were like, wow, that sounds a lot, like something I would like. And I switched over, and I've taken lots of classes to do with this degree, and I love it. So you kind of just know that you chose the right degree. I'm a junior. Like I said, I transferred from community college. I should be a senior technically, but you can only transfer so many credits over, and you can't be considered a senior until you have so many credits. So since I couldn't transfer all my credits over, they consider me a junior at KU. And I plan to get my master's. My bachelor's is great. I just don't want the limitation. Like, I want to be able to keep going, and I don't want, when I get my job, I want to build, and I don't want to hear, well, you don't have your master's, so you can't go to those higher positions. So I think it'd be better if I did it, and I'm excited to do it. Okay, some of the courses that I have already taken. I completed all the mathematics for my degree plan, which consists of all the calculuses, 1, 2, and 3, differential equations, linear algebra, probability and statistics for engineering. If I had to tell you which one was the hardest, it'd probably be prob and stat. It's out there and it's different than the other ones. Sciences, physics, obviously 1 and 2, and chemistry, which I love chemistry, but you only have to take 1, so just took the 1. English are pretty obvious, 1 and 2. Social studies, those are more of electives that you need to take, and so like public speech is one that you're gonna have to take. Sociology, United States history, and political science. And then my engineering related classes that I've taken are statics, dynamics, computer assisted building design, mechanics of materials, which is the same thing as strengths of materials, thermodynamics, and fluid mechanics. My favorite courses. I have a few favorites. I like my architectural based classes and more of my classes that I have kind of building projects to make, because they take more of my creative side out, so I like that. So this is my first model I made for my architecture class, and it's a little messy, but I still think it looks pretty cute. I painted it myself. This is a house I built in Revit this semester. It's 7,500 square feet, and it has electrical, mechanical, all that built into it. So it's much more than just the outside. There's a lot going on in there. this is my my wood structure. This structure we all had to build a structure out of our kit of parts. So we only had so many things we could use, and you had a limitation, but you also had a maximum you had to use, and you have to connect to the people around you. So we all have to connect so that if someone was in our little infrastructure, that they could get through everybody's. So, and then I have my wall system I made out of folded paper and some wood sticks. Besides that, I also want to mention that fluid mechanics has been one of my favorites for sure. I never would have guessed. I took it this semester and I was really scared like it was going to be hard because I took statics and we did a fluids chapter, and it wasn't my best chapter in that course, but I love fluids, and I might go further into fluids, might do some research in fluids. I'm really excited about fluids. Additional courses. Before I go on with this, I want to mention that there are some hard courses like thermodynamics and maybe physics. They're considered, they stick out, I guess, to other people as hard. But I don't want that to like deter you away from this degree, because once you get through those classes, it just feels good to accomplish that. So I don't want I know people here that thermodynamics is so hard, so they avoid this degree and go to civil because I don't think civil has to take it. But I don't want that to deter you. Anyway, additional courses. Building thermal science is one. Structural analysis. I'm taking both of these next semester. Illuminations. Electric circuits. Design of concrete and steel structures. Engineering ethics. Construction management. And so on and so forth. So those are all classes you will see if you choose this degree. Get involved. So I put this on here to get involved in some of the group activities that are at KU. They have multiple different groups. Here's some of them. The American Society of Civil Engineering. Concrete Canoe, which is where they literally build a concrete canoe. ASHRAE. I do know what that stands for. The American Society of Heating, Refrigeration, and Air Conditioning Engineers. This is Associated General Contractors of America, and then the Society of Women Engineering, and etc. So there's a lot. I'm not involved, but that's because I'm new to KU, so I'm not involved in any of them. I am in a firework club that is local that my husband and I have been in for 3 years now, and it keeps me pretty busy, so I haven't been able to reach out to these extracurricular activities, but it's really great, and it's taught me a lot, and I get to communicate with other people and coordinate with other people that have similar interests as me. So this is why getting involved is a lot of fun. You get to talk to people that also are interested in the same things as you, and you get some experience. Even if it's building a concrete canoe, you get that hands-on experience of building something concrete. So I think it's really great, and I think it's a good thing to think about. Internship. So my experience with my internship is I've only had one, but it was still an experience. This is my stepfather, and he has a side business. He is building a workshop for someone. So I was here, I was helping. My pictures are not great, so I apologize ahead of time. But this is us preparing for concrete to come in. And then we did 1/3 of the concrete, and this took so much effort and time. So it's just to get 1/3 of it done, it's really hard. And since it's like drying while you're trying to work with it, it's a real pain. But I mean, we did what we had to do, and now I have the experience, and now I know I probably don't want to do it again. But we had to do some timber framing, and this is their storage on the back of their workshop. I did not take very many pictures, so this is what I have, but it was a good experience, and I And it's good on your resume. It's a good resume builder, so I recommend it. Okay, what's the difference between architectural engineering, civil engineering, and just an architect? So architectural engineering specializes in making buildings. Architectural engineering applies the latest scientific knowledge and technology to the design of the building, whereas civil engineering is the design of public works such as dams, bridges, and other large infrastructures. They can be involved in building stuff, but it's usually just one specific part of the building, like structures. It's not usually the building as a whole. And then the architect plans the design if they know the more artsy side of building design. And they plan on how the public is going to use it and how they're going to fill that space. So they create the overall look of the building, but obviously there is much more to designing a building than just the appearance, which is where we would come in to help with, can this building hold all the loads, the forces? Is it structurally sound? All that. My picture examples, I have this Hearst Castle by Julia Morgan. She has made over 700 buildings, built over 700 buildings. This was built in 1919, and it's in California. She was an architectural engineer. And this is from a civil engineer, Strauss Engineering Corp. I think his name, let's see, Joseph Strauss. This is the Golden Gate Bridge. It's in San Francisco, California. They built it him and his company built it in 1933. And then this is my architect example. So this is Frank Lloyd Wright. This is a house. They call it Falling Water. I'm sure that's kind of apparent why that's called that. He's a very, very famous architect. He has designed over 1,000 structures, built over 500. And this was built in 1964. And it is just southeast of Pittsburgh in a little rural area. Architectural engineering can make the world a better place. I want to specify that any engineering can make the world a better place, but and I think I go into details a little bit about that, but engineers shape the way that we travel. So there's transportation engineering now, so that's another way that we're making the world a better place. Engineers as a whole, not just architectural, but they are shaping the way we communicate. There's a lot of new technology that helps us communicate with one another better, which is important because communication is key. They help us exercise better with new technology as well, because there's more technology that's tracking us better. So, like, I have my fitness watch on. My father-in-law has a bad heart, and he has a pacemaker in now, and since technology has advanced since 1990, he has been doing so much better with this new technology that engineers are coming up with. We help more on an environmental scale. When we build buildings, we try to preserve energy, and that can be done with solar panels, even windmills. Water can help with energy. There's lots of different ways that we can make a building more energy efficient by using less water and all stuff like that. Different lighting that take up less energy. Okay, an architectural engineer's career path. This is just my opinion. It could be different than how I put it, but this is just how I see it. Start with school. Obviously, I think that's kind of a must, but I'm sure some people, very little, can get through without it, but I don't think it's a thing. You can go to the construction side of design and build. And then later on, you become a construction engineer, and you can even make your way up to construction management. The construction side is more the hands-on side, the more of the kind of the outdoor and the, kind of the dirty work. So if you're more on the hands-on, or you can go to the project side, which is more taking place in the building, and they do kind of some designing, and then they communicate it to the construction side, and they do the actual work of it. So I think it starts with the level 1 project engineer, and I think there may be a level 2, and then it just kind of depends on what company you're at and how many people there are. But then you can make your way to a senior project engineer and work your way to project management. So that's just my views on it, but I'm sure there's other ways to put that career path together. My sub-disciplines of architectural engineering that I want to, there's more than just this, but these are just a few. So structures is one of them. I want to specify that these sub-disciplines are something that you can specialize in more than others. So there are architectural engineers that are really into acoustics and do consultations with acoustics and stuff. So that's what this is kind of about. So structures is the safety and reliability of the building. You have to provide structure to make sure the building will remain stationary. Illumination is the lighting of the building and how it can affect the comfort of the people that are occupying the building. And different colors of different materials can have an effect on that. So like white causes a lot of glare, so you don't want a lot of glare. Acoustics is how the sound travels in the building and individual rooms of the building, and different materials also have an effect on that. Softer materials absorb more, and the harder ones make sound bounce, and it's not great on the ears. Mechanical consists of a lot. HVAC systems, an example. Plumbing, and even the windows can be part of mechanical for building thermal stuff. They take up a lot of space in the building, and they're not always easy on the eye. They're pretty big and bulky and kind of ugly, so usually you're trying to hide any mechanical systems, but it's not always going to happen. Not always going to work in your favor. And then environmental is more based on how to save energy and power. So many things can help preserve energy in a building, but they usually cost more money. So in the end, you have to talk to the owner and figure out calculation-wise if it's going to save you money in the long run, or if you're just going to spend more money for no reason at this point in time. Where do I fit in as an engineer in the design the design of a building? So this is just my opinion. Again, I think it starts with the owner. The owner comes up with the idea and decides that they have the money to do this and they want to do this, and then they reach out to an architect. And again, the architect has the design skills and can draw them up a plan, but they need the engineers and the construction management to really set that plan in and make that plan work with the science behind the building, the math behind the building. So that's where we would come in and figure out if the building is stationary, can handle loads, and is structurally sound. And construction management can, do their part with materials and figuring and the construction site and managing all that stuff. And then it moves on to actual building, where we have general contractors most of the time, and then they have subcontractors come out of their pocket there. So this is where we fit in my opinion, but it can be different. I'm sure it just kind of depends on the project in the company. Biggest challenges that engineers run into, there's multiple of them. I put 4 up here. So starting with budget. Budget's a big one. You want to always stay in budget, but it's hard because you want a nice building and you want it to be beautiful and you want it to be efficient, and so you could just pour money into it and it adds up really fast. So there's things that you have to budget on and things that you may have to cut or not use. So Design. There's always a design that starts with the architect, and you want to make sure that you maintain that design. You don't want to ruin the design, but sometimes that design doesn't hold up. It doesn't handle all the loads, the live load, the wind load. So you have to change some things, but you want to try to keep the essence of his design or their design. Communication. Communication is important, because if something has changed and it's not communicated to everybody, because there's a lot of people involved, so it's not communicated to everybody, then things can go wrong, and they can be fatal. They can be very tragic mistakes that are made because not everyone hears the new update. So communication is important. And then material behaviors, we can't always predict. We know a lot about materials, but sometimes materials have defects that we can't always see and can't always predict. So that one's pretty slim, but it's still one of the obstacles, so I put it on here. Professional licensure, I recommend starting with a bachelor's degree, obviously, but it's not required to take the FE exam. I just highly recommend it because that's what you're going to get tested on, is things that courses you would have taken if you got your bachelor's. So, fundamentals of engineering exam is not required, but it's not in all workplaces, but some places it is. But I think it doesn't hurt to have it, just in case it is required. You already have it. You don't have to worry about it. And then to get the PE, the practice of engineering exam, you have to at least practice for 4 years under a licensed engineer. So that one you have to wait a while, and you have to have that 4 years of experience with another engineer under your belt before you can take that one. Keeping your license. So there's a lot of different things, but the main thing is you gotta follow the code of ethics, the engineering code of ethics. I think it's long and kind of boring, so I didn't throw it all on here, but definitely, you gotta remain respectful and responsible. You have to make sure that what you're doing is in favor of others. You don't want to ever put anyone's life in danger. You don't want to ever lie. You got to remain honorable, and you want to be trustworthy. You don't want to lie and lose your client's trust or your company's trust. So I think keeping your license, I think everyone will be fine. I don't think it's a hard thing to do as long as you're professional and you have ethics. I think that is the main key there. And then good luck. I want to tell everyone good luck, and I want everyone to remember that you can do it if you put your mind to it. I didn't think I could do it, and I put my mind to it, and here I am. I'm still here. Some things may take more effort than others, and I think that makes it that much more rewarding to achieve it. I know a few people in my family that just took the easy way out and got degrees that they aren't happy with, and then it's just kind of a waste of your time. So I know people say that engineering is a hard degree, but I don't want that to deter you away from engineering. And as well, I want to wish good luck, even if you don't choose engineering, good luck in whatever degree you decide on. So thank you for watching.